Hello again. In this video, we're going to introduce quadratic equations. So let me get this document camera up. A quadratic equation. Sometimes we'll add of two variables because we've got two variables. We've got an x and a y. It's an equation of the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a and b and c are just constants. And the only restriction we have here with this parabola, with this quadratic, is that a is not allowed to be 0, because if a were 0, that term would just go away, and this is linear. So this needs to be here. It's what makes this equation quadratic instead of linear. We're going to start in this video with a graphical exploration of these quadratics. What do they look like when you graph them? And I already said the word by mistake. The graphs of quadratics are parabolas. But what is a parabola? It's kind of a U shape, like that, or like that. And if you'll give me just a minute, I'm going to bring Desmos up, an online graphing utility, so that we can look at a few parabolas drawn more neatly than my sort of scribbling in the notebook. Here's an example of a parabola. You see it has, as I said, that kind of U shape. Here, let's say 1/2 x squared minus 4x. Here's another parabola, maybe 5x squared plus 1. This is a quadratic. The number in front of the x squared, that a isn't allowed to be 0, but you can have zeros elsewhere. So here are three quadratics, and I mean they differ in detail where they're positioned on the graph. Some of them are narrower, some of them are wider, but they all look basically the same. Let's graph negative x squared next. And you'll see it looks rather different. It's still a parabola, but it's oriented differently. Instead of opening upwards like this, it opens downwards like this. And what's the cause of that? Well, if you look at these parabolas, positive 2x squared, positive 1/2 x squared, positive 5x squared, and then the one that's oriented differently, negative x squared, you might see the pattern. Let me get this document camera back up. Parabolas open like this, open up if this first term is positive, and they're oriented like this, opening downwards if the first term is negative. Okay, parabolas, we're still sort of looking at this from a graphical point of view. Parabolas have 3 coefficients or 3 constants controlling them. Linear equations have 2, and with linear equations, both of them are easy to explain. The m is the slope, the b gives the y-intercept. Here, that's not so true. We've seen what the a does. It controls how the parabola is oriented. But what this b does will remain a mystery. We're not going to talk about it in this class. The c, on the other hand, we can deal with without a lot of trouble. 0, c is the y-intercept. So going back to Desmos, let's hide some of these things. Here's a parabola, 2x squared plus 4x minus 5. And my claim is that the y-coordinate of this parabola, let me delete those all together, that the y-intercept of this parabola should be given by this last term. It should be 0, negative 5. And we take a look, and there indeed, that really is the y-coordinate. And with that, I think we're done with this video. We have more to say about quadratics, of course. We want to solve equations involving quadratics, but we'll get to that in another video.